morning students. So in previous video we have discussed about some important points in relation to the cell. So we talked about the discovery of cell, history of cell. Then we covered the cell theory. After cell theory we discussed structural and functional relationship in the cell. We also discussed that what is the smallest cell. All of you know the mycoplasma is the smallest cell. Now in continuation of it, today we will learn different type of organisms on basis of cell number. So all of you know some organisms in this living world are very large and some organisms are tiny. They are microscopic and even they cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Generally we call them as the microbes. So these organisms are made up of single cell, and when organism is made up of single cell, we use term unicellular. And there are organisms which are made up of large number of cells. So the size of plant and animal do not depends on the size of cell. The size of plant or animal depends on the number of cell. When organism is made up of large number of cells, these organisms are called multicellular organisms. So on basis of cell number, we can classify organisms into two broad categories, unicellular and multicellular. So let's try to understand difference between unicellular and multicellular organisms. Okay, so on basis of we look into cell number or on basis of cell number. Okay, organisms may be unicellular or these are called single celled organism. Single celled organisms, right? Similarly, if any organism which is made up of more number of cells, large number of cells, then these are called multicellular. Multi means more than one. Multicellular organisms, or these are called multi-celled organisms. Multi-celled organisms. So on basis of number of cells, we can classify organisms into unicellular and multicellular, right? So let's try to differentiate unicellular organisms from the multicellular organisms. So before we talk about unicellular and multicellular organisms, let's take some example of unicellular organisms. So we will compare them so it will be easy to understand. First, let's talk about the unicellular organisms. So best example of unicellular organism is amoeba, that you have studied from your junior classes also. Okay, amoeba, this is a protozoan. Beside amoeba, one more example given in NCERT is the paramecium. And bacteria. All the bacteria also come under the unicellular. All these organisms are made up of single cell. So when they are made up of single cell, please keep in mind they have very unique feature that all the life functions like nutrition, respiration, excretion, that may be locomotion or reproduction, all the activities which are essential or all the processes which are essential for the survival are carried out by the single cell. So this is very interesting point to note. This is unique about unicellular, that all the activities of the organisms are carried out by the single cell. So if we take example of amoeba and try to understand. So all of you know amoeba is irregular shape unicellular organism. So if we look into this, this is made up of single cell. But if we talk about respiration, all of you know that plasma membrane or cell membrane of the cell help amoeba to carry out the exchange of gases or help in movement of gases across the molecule, means it carry out the respiration. So you can understand a single cell. Same cell with help of pseudopodia, this cell only help in, all of us know, nutrition. This pseudopodia only help in locomotion. This cell only divide by the binary fission or by cell division and carry out the reproduction. Even they are made up of single cell, but they are able to carry out all the functions which are essential for continuity of life as well as for the survival. That is very unique about the single cell organism, right? No doubt these organisms are simple, they are primitive, and they don't have organ system, tissues, because they are made up of a single cell. Opposite to it, if we look into multicellular organism, multicellular organisms or multicell organisms, these organisms have large number of cells. When there is presence of large number of cells, they have different level of organization. So they have number of cells, okay, or large number of cells. These cells come together and they make the tissues. So these organisms may have tissues. These tissues may make the organ, or they may have the organ system also. Please keep in mind, they may have organ system also. So their organization is comparatively complex. So body organization is complex organization. Now when they have more than one cell, there are large number of cells, and these cells are of different type. They have some advantage of having large number of cells, and they have advantage of having different type of cell. So different type of cells are highly adapted to carry out different functions. Different activities of life are carried out by the different cell, and this differentiation of cell to carry out different function is known as division of labor. So in the multicellular organism, division of labor is well distinct and it can be seen. So here you have to remember multicellular organisms. So division of labor. Division of labor means different cells perform different functions. Different cells perform different functions, or cells are specialized to perform different functions, right? Cells are specialized to perform different functions. This is very important and interesting. Differentiation, other word we can say, differentiation is seen. Differentiation in cells. Differentiation in cells. So please remember, in case of unicellular, no division of labor. No division of labor is seen, because here there is presence of only single cell. When there is a single cell, there will be no division of labor. This point you have to keep in mind. But please keep in mind, within cell there are subparts, like here nucleus. There will be presence of mitochondria, ribosome, and different subparts are present in the cell. So the subcomponents of cell may carry out different functions. So within cell, different parts of cell perform different functions. So within cell there may be division of work or division of labor, but overall we say, in case of unicellular organisms, there is no division of labor. That point you have to keep in mind. But in case of multicellular organism, we can see the presence of division of labor. If we look into the examples of multicellular organisms, please keep in mind, multicellular organisms are fungi. So all the fungus are multicellular, all the plants are multicellular, and all the animals. Please keep in mind, don't write the example like there is a neem tree, mango tree. Okay, likewise, please write plants. All the plants are multicellular without exception. All animals are multicellular, and all the members of fungi are multicellular. Amoeba, bacteria, and all these come under two groups. So here unicellular include the two groups that you will learn in the next chapter, that is the Monera and Protista. Member of Monera and Protista are unicellular. Please remember, member of Monera or all Monerians and member of Protista are unicellular. Member of fungi, plant and animals are multicellular. So these are some basic differences between unicellular and multicellular. So on basis of the cell number, we have classified organisms in unicellular and multicellular. Next point, if we look into the type of cells, okay, on basis of the presence or absence of nucleus or presence or absence of well-defined nucleus, we can classify cells into two major categories. These categories are prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Similarly, sometime you have already studied that cells are classified into plant cell and animal cell. Generally, whenever we study the cell, we study plant cell as well as we study the animal cells. So before we talk about prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell, let's quickly recap basic differences between plant cell and the animal cells. Okay, so let's write plant cell, that you need to recall and remember. Animal cells, then we will compare the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So all of you know plant cell have, we will write only keywords, cell wall. Okay, animal cell, cell wall absent. This is very basic difference. We can identify, we can differentiate plant cells from the animal cell in presence or absence of cell wall. So always remember, in plant cell wall is present. Cell wall present. Second difference, plants are green, plants have plastids. So presence of plastids in the cells. Okay, plastids particularly, please remember chloroplast. So all of you know chloroplast present, and that make the plant autotrophic, photosynthetic. Here animal cells are devoid of or absence of chloroplast. Okay, they are devoid of chloroplast, that's why they are heterotrophs. Third very important point, you know, something present in animal cell but absent in the plant cell, that is absent or absence of centriole. Centriole we will discuss. This is the cell organelle, centriole, that help in cell division. Here presence of centriole. This is the cell organelle called centriole. So centriole exclusively present in the animal cell. Somewhere in the cell, if there is a labeling centriole or centriole is seen, that cell will be animal cell. Now one more difference we can add. Plant cell have nucleus, animal cell also have nucleus. but plant cell have peripheral nucleus. This point will help you to identify or differentiate plant cell from the animal cell. Peripheral nucleus. Why it is peripheral? Because here there is presence of large vacuole. Peripheral nucleus due to presence of large vacuole, or in other word we can say there is presence of large central vacuole. Please remember, here is presence of large central vacuole. So this large central vacuole push the nucleus to the peripheral. So if you compare the diagram of plant and animal cell given in your textbook, you will find that in case of plant cell the nucleus is peripheral or it is present near the plasma membrane. What push the nucleus to the periphery? Presence of large vacuole. Okay. In case of animal cell, nucleus is central. Nucleus is central. Okay. And always remember, vacuoles are small and large in number or more in number. Large in number. In animal cells, vacuoles are always smaller in size and they are more in number. But in plant cells, there is presence of large vacuole. There is a single large vacuole present in the plant cell. These are some basic difference between plant cell and animal cell. By observing the diagram given in the textbook, you can find out these differences. These all are the visible differences in the plant cell and animal cell. So now let's look into the type of cells on basis of presence of well-defined nucleus or absence of well-defined nucleus. Here well-defined means when nucleus have a nuclear membrane, the genetic material is covered by nuclear membrane, then we say it is a well-defined nucleus. And when genetic material is naked, there is no membrane in surrounding of genetic material, then it is called nucleoid, or that cell is called prokaryotic cell. So let's try to understand difference between eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell on basis of presence or absence of nuclear membrane or well-defined nucleus. First we will try to list out differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. We will try to understand and then we will look into the detailed structure of prokaryotic cell. Here prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Karyon word stands for the nucleus. Please remember, pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. Means cells which have the primitive nucleus are called prokaryotes, and cells which have well-defined, well-organized nucleus with the nuclear membrane are called eukaryotes. So this is the classification of cell on basis of presence or absence of nucleus. On basis of presence or absence of nuclear membrane. This is very important. On basis of nuclear membrane. Okay, so please remember, this is very important. Either nuclear membrane is present or nuclear membrane is absent. On basis of that, we classify cells into two types. Two types of cells are there. Nuclear membrane absent. Then the cells are called prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell. So very simple. When nuclear membrane is absent, prokaryotic cell, and well-defined nuclear membrane present, means nuclear envelope is present. present, then it is called eukaryotic cell. Remember it, there are two types of cells, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Pro means primitive. Here karyon, karyotic word stand for the karyon. Karyon means, please keep in mind, nucleus. They have primitive nucleus. U word stand for the advance. Okay, and again karyon means nucleus. What make the nucleus advanced and what make the nucleus primitive? Presence of nuclear membrane. Then we say nucleus is advanced. Well defined nucleus is there. Absence of nuclear membrane make the nucleus primitive. And this primitive nucleus, or when nuclear membrane is absent, genetic material is naked. Naked DNA. And in other words, we say this naked DNA is known as the nucleoid. What word we use? Nucleoid. So let's quickly take some examples for reference, then we will list out the difference. Here you can remember in case of prokaryote, the typical example, bacteria. All the bacteria. Okay, along with bacteria, cyanobacteria, mycoplasma, what you remember? To understand the structure and different features of prokaryotic cell, we have to keep in mind the example of bacteria. And eukaryotes, that include all the protozoans, fungi, plants, and all the animals. Remember, all these group of organisms are made up of eukaryotic cell and bacteria. Another example you can remember, that is cyanobacteria. Okay, then mycoplasma, that all name already know. These are the some examples of prokaryotic cells. These organisms have prokaryotic cells. Okay. One basic difference we know, presence of nuclear membrane and absence of nuclear membrane. Okay. Prokaryotic cell, always remember, are smaller in size, they are primitive. Eukaryotic cells are comparatively larger in size and they are advanced. Okay, so at least three differences we have to learn between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. First difference, we will write presence or absence of nuclear membrane. Second difference, these prokaryotic cells do not have membrane bound cell organelles. Because difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Let's quickly go through some differences. These are some basic differences. More differences are there. As we know, prokaryotic cell is a cell which is quite primitive. Okay, this is small and primitive. Small and primitive cell, that already know. Okay, these are small and primitive cells. Eukaryotic cells are comparatively larger in size. Okay, and these are advanced. Right. Examples already we have discussed. Prokaryotes include bacteria, cyanobacteria and all. Eukaryotes are plants, fungi and animals. Now if we look into some basic differences between prokaryote and eukaryote. Prokaryotes, keep in mind, always have naked DNA. Here naked DNA means they have single chromosome, and this single chromosome is directly present in cytoplasm. There is no separation in cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. Here you can see, if this is a genetic material, this is DNA, so this DNA is directly present in cytoplasm. This is directly present in the cytoplasm. So there is no differentiation or division in nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. There is no nuclear membrane. This is most important point. Absence of nuclear membrane. And this naked DNA or this genetic material is called nucleoid. So for naked DNA of prokaryotic cell, we use word nucleoid. Please keep in mind. But in case of eukaryotes, DNA or genetic material or the chromosomes are present inside a well-defined nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane. So this envelope is called nuclear membrane. This is called nuclear membrane, and there is a presence of nuclear membrane. Please keep in mind presence of nuclear membrane. This is most important point you have to remember. So here well-defined nuclear membrane is present. Well-defined nuclear membrane is present. Right? Second difference we have to remember, in case of prokaryotic cell, as being primitive cell, there is no cell organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, or in other words we can say absence of membrane bound. Cell organelles are present, but membrane bound cell organelles are not present. These cell organelles or the sub part of cell, component of cell do not have the membrane. That's why we say membrane bound cell organelles are absent. Absence of membrane bound cell organelles. Okay, in case of prokaryotic cell. But here well defined membrane bound cell organelles are present. In mitochondria, chloroplast, Golgi body, all the cell organelles are present in the eukaryotic cell. Third difference, this is in prokaryote the type of ribosome. All of you know ribosomes are commonly known as protein factories. These are the tiny particle-like structures present in cytoplasm. Okay, so here they have ribosomes. Okay, in the cytoplasm. All of these ribosomes are of 70 S type. So we will discuss in details. This is the density. S stands for Svedberg unit. Okay, so when we will talk about the ribosome separately, then we will cover. Okay, 70S means overall you can remember smaller. Okay, with the less density, the ribosomes are present. The type of ribosomes are called 70S type of ribosome. But in eukaryotic cell, here is presence of 80S type of ribosome. That you have to keep in mind. These are some basic difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Examples are very important. Bacteria, cyanobacteria, mycoplasma. Here, all the members of fungi, all the members of plants and animals, including protista, and another word we can say subgroup of protista, that are the protozoans. So amoeba also come under, please keep in mind, eukaryotes. Okay, because that have well-defined nucleus. It is unicellular, but it has the nucleus. So any cell which have nucleus with the nuclear membrane known as eukaryotic cell. So broadly we classify cell into two types, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Now let's go into some detail of prokaryotic cell. Then we will take the eukaryotic cell. To understand the structure of prokaryotic cell, we have to take example of bacteria, and we will draw the diagram of bacterial cell so we can understand the structure of prokaryotic cell. Okay. So bacteria or a structure of prokaryotic cell. So prokaryotic cell, already we know, we have to talk about the bacterial cell. Best example is the bacterial cell. Okay. All of you know bacteria are present everywhere. They have the universal present. They are microscopic and they are very simple. They are single cell. Okay. So let's look into the structure of bacterial cell. Okay, so when we talk about the cell, all of us know that all the cells have cell envelopes. So first of all, let's talk about the cell envelopes. So if we say this is bacteria have different shape, they may be spherical, they may be rod shape, they may be of some other shape, comma like or different shapes are there. But here we are showing a common bacteria. This is the rod shaped bacteria. So in all the cell there is a common envelope or common membrane is present in all type of cells. It may be plant cell, animal cell, or it may be prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. A common envelope is present that is called cell membrane. So please keep in mind, prokaryote also have the presence of cell membrane. So that's this layer we can mark as the cell membrane, or it is the plasma membrane. Please keep in mind, cell membrane. Now, in most of the prokaryotic cell, outside the cell membrane, there is a presence of thick cell wall. Always remember, prokaryotic cell like bacterial cell have the thick cell wall, except in case of mycoplasma there is no cell wall. That we will discuss. In mycoplasma is different from bacteria, because in mycoplasma there is absence of cell wall. So let's see here, presence of a thicker layer, that is called cell wall. Please keep in mind, this is called cell wall, and this cell wall is made up of chemical composition is also very important. So we will remember the cell wall of bacteria is made up of mucopeptide or peptidoglycan. So we discuss the structure. Mucopeptide, this is protein and glycogen. Muco word stand for the carbohydrate, and another chemical, that is the protein. So this is made up of mucopeptide. Please remember, this layer is called cell wall. Okay, here we have the cell wall, right? So cell wall is always outer to the plasma membrane. Remember, cell wall is always outer to the plasma membrane. So here we write this is cell wall, and always remember this cell wall is made up of a chemical called mucopeptide. Mucopeptide, or in other word, this is called peptidoglycan. All of you know the cell wall of plant is made up of cellulose. Similarly, general chemical composition of bacterial cell wall is mucopeptide, or mucopeptide, we also can say peptidoglycan. Now cell wall is rigid, that provides shape, that provides the protection. Besides cell wall, in some of the bacteria, okay, there is the presence of one more layer, protective layer. This protective layer may be slimy or rigid. Okay, technically it is called glycocalyx, but here we will not write glycocalyx. We can call it as the capsule. This is the additional layer which is not found in other organisms. Okay, but this layer is found in bacterial cell only, in prokaryotic cell only, and we can label it as the capsule. Okay, this outer layer which is slimy, or this may be, remember, rigid. Okay, this provides extra protection to this cell. So capsule. Remember, this is capsule. This may be slimy or rigid. This is very important. So innermost, this is plasma membrane, and plasma membrane, please remember, made up of phospholipids. We will discuss in detail phospholipids and proteins. This is made up of phospholipid and proteins. This is made up of mucopeptide. These are also made up of some protein and other chemicals. Capsule, but it provides extra protection, so bacteria can survive in most harsh and extreme hostile conditions. Even in the boiling water, bacteria can survive in presence of capsule. Okay, so quickly now move to the surfacial structures. So if we look here in bacteria, not necessarily on the all the prokaryotes, in most of the prokaryotes there is presence of these finger-like projections. Okay, these projections are called fimbriae or pili. Fimbriae or pili. Okay, in surroundings, so these can be labeled as the pili or fimbriae, with helping adhering with the surface. They can attach themselves to any surface. Beside that, in prokaryotic cell there may be presence of a long projection. Okay, this long projection may be one, maybe two, more than two. Okay, so these projections, this is only for representation we are drawing here. So these projections, okay, may present single, then it is uniflagellated. May present two, may present at the both the sides. So this heap-like projection is called flagella. This heap-like projection is called flagella, and this flagella chemically made up of a protein. This is made up of a protein called flagellin. Remember, this protein is called flagellin protein, and this help in locomotion. Help in movement. This is a here flagella. Flagella base. From it can move at 360-degree heap-like structure. Come to the inner part quickly. We have here a single chromosome. Okay, genetic material DNA. And this part, this is DNA or naked DNA, because it do not have nuclear membrane, and technically we call it as the nucleoid. Okay, so genetic material, single DNA, that is called the nucleoid. Now you see, as we mentioned, here in case of prokaryotic cell there will be type of ribosomes. These ribosomes are comparatively smaller than the eukaryotic cell. These are present in cytoplasm. Okay, these are ribosomes, and these are 70S type of ribosomes. Now you know ribosome help in protein synthesis. 70S type of ribosome do have. Please remember that in case of bacteria or in prokaryotic cell, this inner cell layer, that is the plasma membrane, make the inner foldings, and when it make the inner foldings, it make a cup-shaped structure. These inner foldings make a cup-shaped structure. This structure is called mesosome. This is called mesosome. Here some word come from the soma. Soma means body. Mesosome, that arise from the inner foldings of the plasma membrane. Inner foldings. So the inner folding of plasma membrane. Right? This mesosome is equal to the mitochondria of eukaryotic cell, and this mesosome, only one thing you can remember, help in respiration. Actually it increases surface area and many metabolic reactions takes place, but you can remember mesosome help in the respiration. Okay, the fluid part of the cell where there is no nucleoplasm and cytoplasm differentiated, we can here write this is simply we can say cytoplasm. Okay, beside nucleus, in many bacteria or prokaryotic cell there is presence of one more DNA. This DNA is additional to the main DNA, and this DNA is called plasmid. This is very important term. This is called plasmid. This is basically a DNA, and we can define this plasmid as extra chromosomal DNA. So we can write here, this is a extra chromosomal circular DNA. Okay, so extra chromosomal means this is main chromosome. Beside chromosome, one more DNA is present. That's why it is called extra chromosomal. Please keep in mind, this is called extra chromosomal. Extra chromosomal. It is circular in shape. That's why we write circular DNA. And this is plasmid. Actually, plasmid provides bears some genes, and this plasmid provides many additional features to the prokaryotic cell which are absent. Generally, these are absent in the eukaryotic cell. Last point we can write here. In the cell, there may be presence of some other type of particles also that may be made up of protein or some lipid droplets. These all particles together, we can call them as the inclusion bodies. These are included in cytoplasm, so these are called inclusion bodies. These are inclusion bodies. So that's all about the structure of a typical prokaryotic cell. Okay, so most important term you will remember, this is nucleoid, naked DNA. Inner folding of plasma membrane is called mesosome. Type of ribosome, 70S type of ribosome. These small filaments are called fillet or fimbriae. Longer filament projection is called flagella. Okay, so prokaryotic cells are a simple cell in comparison to eukaryotic cell. Thank you.